The last year theme was shaping the future, and as at the last time, we had the MD of Xylos as our keynote speaker. But I'm taking up that role tonight. I'm not going to take your time. Let me quickly tell us a little about Ppbn. It's our 4th year anniversary. When we started, we could barely raise or pull up a total sales of 100 million 4 years ago. But as at the last time, when we celebrated the 3rd year, we were able to pull up a total sale of, we exceeded 5 billion. I was expecting you to clap for yourself. Coming to this year, we did not only hit that same target of the previous year, but we exceeded it. Please give yourself a round of applause. So it is worth it to call yourself billionaire realtors, right? Because we have actually attained the status. You've attained the status. Why are we congratulate the leadership of Ppbn, not starting from me, of course. Mr. Toluwa, Mr. Tayo, Madam Biodu, Madam Bosse, Mr. Perry. Please let's give them a round of applause. Madam Shile, Mr. Ola. There are 3 greatest questions by philosophers. And the first of those 3 questions, please, let's maintain a decorum. We've actually done well in the previous year and we've done well this year, but our success won't be rated until the end of this year. As a result, you need information that you're going to work on to make this year a memorable year. I mean, a year whereby you can be proud of your achievement at the end of it. So, please give me your... I'm not going to be here for too long, please. So the first of the questions being asked by philosophers is, what is knowledge? The second is, how do we govern ourselves? The third is, how do we conduct ourselves? These 3 questions, like I said, revolves around human activities. You can't govern people unless you have adequate knowledge on how to do that. You shouldn't expect the right conduct from people unless you have the laid down rules and regulations. And this wouldn't be done by anyone than the leaders of any community, right? Now, Richard, in his book, I think page 106, he is the author of The Law of Attraction. He asked the same question. He said, the greatest question is based on how do we achieve living happily. He said that's the greatest question being asked by a philosopher or philosophy, anyhow you see him. So, and I am not throwing this question to you, that if you want to live happily, what are the things you think you need to have to live happily? Now take note before you answer this question. According to him, he said your response to this question will determine what happens to your life and even after here. Because he has a lot to do with business, he has a lot to do with, transaction, sales and everything, and even spirituality. So what are the things you think you need to have to achieve living happily? Remember, your response determines what happens to you. Somebody is raising his hand.
Information.
Thank you. This hall is meant for about 500 people. We've just heard from one person. I promise never to take your time, but help me not to take your time. What are the things you think you need to have?
Connection.
Connection. Thank you. Make more sales. Thank you. Give me 3 more people.
Say sales.
Sales, as a salesperson, thank you.
Oh, somebody say sense. Sense. Follow.
Knowledge, thank you.
Knowledge.
Right attitude, thank you. Influence, thank you. You are all right. Let's clap for ourselves. Today is not a day to judge anyone, but to appreciate ourselves. Now take note. Put your mind on those information as I share 7 good things with you that you need to operate and become a successful person this year. But before I proceed with those 3 points, let me put something out as a guide. Some years ago, global conversation is divided into 3. Number 1 is an event. Number 2 is human response. Number 3 is consequences. Ppbn, during the time we were a year, we were struggling with pulling up huge sales. We looked into it. We saw that as an event, and we worked on it through our response. And the evidence is what you are seeing today. If you are just coming into the industry, let's say you are not up to 1 year or 2 years, and your starting point seems to be ugly, put this thing in your mind that global conversation is divided into 3. Something must be happening or must have happened that will negate your response. However, the quality of your response, which is the second in the conversation, will determine what you experience, which is known as consequences. A guide. Use 3 filter tests to operate this year so that you don't respond to everything. Because you being productive, you being successful, you being an achiever is very important. In fact, it determines the quality of your life. So you don't need to pay attention to everything. And here are the 3 things I need you to do. These are guides. All these things I'm saying, they are guide. What did I say? They are guide. It is important I put this out before I go to the 7 points. Apply, or should I say adopt 3 filter tests to anything that comes to your table. That will enable you not to allow distraction to compete for your productive action, that is capable of making you a success. Some years ago, an acquaintance went to the great ancient philosopher Socrates. He went to him to share some information with him. And when he started sharing the information, he hasn't really gone far. Said, did you hear? And by the time he said, did you hear? Socrates told him, hold on. Let's do a 3 filter test to your information before you share it. And what is that 3 filter test? Number 1 is truthfulness. Number 2 is goodness. Number 3 is usefulness. Now, the information you are about to share with me, how true is it? The young man said, I can't really say it's true because I heard it from somewhere. That's the secondary information. The message has failed the first of the 3 filter tests. The second test was, he asked the young man, the information you're about to share with me, how good is the information to the people you're talking about, to me and you? The young man said, the information is not good to the people or the event he was talking about. It is not good for Socrates, and it's not good for the young man. The message failed the second test. Then they went to the third test, which is usefulness. He asked again, the information you're about to share with me, how useful is it to you, to the people, and to him? The young man said the information is not useful. Then he told him, don't bother to share. As a guide, don't come to 2025 expending your money, your time, and other resources on something that won't move the table. You have to make money this year. And if you allow that thing, that distraction, that information that is not good, not useful, or true, to compete with your attention for something that will bring about productivity and success, you will only have yourself to blame. So please, let's see this as a guide, and let's proceed to the 7 things I'm going to share with you, that you need this year. Don't forget, the information I just shared is all about a guide. Now, this year's theme is sustaining the future. Based on our belief and based on the track record, you have arrived at the future. Because what we call future is not in the 100 years that you are not rest assured you will see. But it is in the next few seconds that you're capable of seeing. I'm trying to correct your misconception about the future. Because if I ask you to set a goal, maybe you made 100 million, say, last year, and set a goal for this year, and you are giving me 500 billion sales target, that goal is unrealistic. So if the world can accept the fact that the moment you create an unreasonable margin between where you have arrived and where you desire to be, it is unrealistic. Definitely, seeing 100 years as the future becomes unrealistic. Your future is in the next few seconds that you are sure of seeing, not in the next 100 years that you're not rest assured you're going to see. So let's take note of these 7 things I want to share with us. Here are the 7 steps I'm putting across for you to become a success this year. And if you are yet to become a success doing the business, please just implement. That's all I ask from you. And I have my reason for saying that. Number 1 evidence is the fact that Ppbn started from somewhere where we were struggling, and we are heading somewhere. That's number 1. Secondly, I don't have parents. I lost my parents when I was around 5 years. And being the last born of the family, imagine what could be the challenge. I am sharing part of the things that have worked for me and that I believe will work for you. The first is have a goal. And when you are putting that goal, write plus accountability. Have a goal and hold yourself accountable. You want to travel to the east, but it has never occurred to you from your mind that you deserve or you have a plan to travel to the east. If you go to the bus stop there, and you're just there, waiting for any vehicle to take you, instead of seeing yourself in the east, you might find yourself in Epé. So a life or a man without a goal is vulnerable to take action that will not land him in his desired future. So if you want to achieve anything at all, set that goal and ensure you are accountable to everything that will bring the goal to reality. That's number 1. Number 2, have a niche. Have a niche. What we call a niche is area of focus. You are real estate salespeople. You already have a niche. But you can create a niche inside a niche. And when you create a niche inside a niche, it means you are calling for that distinct perspective from the marketplace. You don't want to be known as a generic salesperson. You want to be known as a different person with class in the industry. So there are strategies you probably need to work on. But that is not the topic for today. The next is to take action. No matter how good you are at having a niche, at creating a niche within a niche, if you don't take action, nothing happens. So you have to learn to take actions. What brings fortune, like I tell people, is not the opportunities you are presented to. What brings fortune is not the investment opportunities you are presented or you are offered. It is the quality of your decision. And talking about quality of decision, you can't take action away from it. Take action. For salespeople in the real estate industry, one of your actions is to ensure you give what you have. So you have to acquire knowledge. Because if you lack it, you can't give it. Acquire knowledge, attend classes, attend trainings. Equip yourself, become a force. When you do this, you grow in confidence. No client can intimidate you through objection. Acquire knowledge. Go for inspection. Don't grow big in pride in your business, doing your business. I mean, lower yourself, be humble, and see yourself, your business up here. Because I've seen so many of us, while we are doing our business, I'll not be strict. Come on. Nobody is interested in who you are until you prove that you deserve to be that person. So lower your pride. Honor your business while taking action. How do you do that? I've said that you should attend trainings, acquire knowledge, then implement. Go to sites, do videos, do inspections. For a person standing in front of you who lost both parents while he was around 5 to 7 years and being the last born of the family, trust me, before any elders ahead of you can give you 1% attention, they have given 99 to their families. And until you realize that, you will continue to grow in entitlement mentality that will never bring anything to your table. And that is why we complain by saying, Chief Priest is my brother. He hasn't helped me. You were created the same way you was created. Hold yourself responsible for the action that will deliver you the kind of life you desire. Then hold God responsible, for his grace. That's work plus God. Let me stop on action. The next is, I think I skipped one. So let's believe that taking action is number 4. Number 3 is come up with strategies. Example of the strategies I'm talking about is be disruptive and adopt mirror strategy. What do I call mirror strategy? Observe the top guys in your industry. Observe them, study them. If it requires you to sacrifice, some things just to learn from them, adopt whatever they are adopting. You're not paying a dime for doing that. Study the top guys in your industry, adopt their strategies. That is what we call mirror strategy. At least by the time you mention top 10 real estate practitioner in Nigeria, I'm talking of realtors, some names will cross your mind. Study them. Follow them. Bury pride. Please. You can't lack money and still have pride. It's a deadly combination. Because what I've seen so many of us doing is to overlook the channels, the pages of those who are doing more than us. Even if they have value to deliver, we just overlook, we won't follow them. I don't know the reason. Because bury that spirit. Let it go with 2024. Because those guys are very crucial to your growth. Learn from them from distance. Make them your mentor from distance. If it requires you to go for a training within their premises, please go for it. Then, that is that about mirror strategy. In my own personal intellectual wahala, I call it embrace working principles. You know, doing that, one house please, please. Doing that will deliver you the kind of results similar to what these guys are achieving. And you become their competitors. You become their competitor at the end of the day. That is that about that. But if you want something extraordinary, you engage in mirror strategy, right? Then you look into it and you go into it creatively. You bring about innovation into the principles that these guys are using. Let's say somebody is using one particular editing strategy on CapCut. Look at it, adopt it, but don't stay too long on it. Look for a way to improve it. That's what I mean by disrupting. If Apple was comfortable with iPhone 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they wouldn't give us what we call iPhone 16 today. Am I right? So you shouldn't be comfortable with your status. Always dare to do more. That is that about mirror strategy and disruptive. Then the next is growth. So by the time you do all this, it means you are taking action. You are implementing already. So there will be a shift between who you were and someone else who is now, you're no longer competing with people with sales target of 100 million. You are competing with those guys at the top. Because why? You have studied them, you are adopting their strategies, and your mind is now being built around their target. So there is a shift at that point. Now the next one is you have to engage in reviewing yourself from time to time. Not all strategies will work. But if you adopt a strategy and you are smart enough to review it, you will know whether to continue with it or adopt something else. Engage in regular review. The last on this is adopt innovation, creativity, and be disruptive, just like I've said, for sustainability. I tell people that if you can adopt existing strategies or principles being used by somebody who is already successful, you stand a chance to become successful, even more than the person you are adopting his strategies. That's if you can be innovative, if you can be disruptive, and all that. So it is safe to say making money is easy. Arriving at a desired destination is easy, only if you can do all those things. But how do you sustain it? How do you sustain it? A friend of mine once said something. He said he's getting fed up of helping those who have not made it. I said, why did you say that? Don't you know that if the government wants to reduce the vices in the society, the only strategy to do that is to ensure that everybody has something to do. Let them have money. If you get money, they think of, say, you go break butts on anybody's head. So why we are clamoring for that it should be a thing that is being accepted in the globe, though they accepted it outside the country. It's only in our environment. You are saying you're finding it difficult to help those who are yet to make it. So I asked him a question. I said, why? He said, those who have made it are much more easier to train than those who are yet to make it. I said, how? He said, because they have tasted the two sides of life. the ugly, when they were struggling to eat a 3 square meal, and now they have arrived at a destination they are proud of. He said when you are training them to make more, they will take it serious because they wouldn't want to go back to their past. I believe you have all made it, and I believe I have spoken to those who have made it in this hall. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Kazeem, a round of applause for him. Well spoken. The way some people are shouting. Regular. The way some people are shouting, they remind me of people in church.